Adam Lerner, and welcome to another edition of the Friday Flickr Photo Critique, because we are joined here today with Jared Poland, the Fro.
Hello.
Hello. That's a very nice T-shirt. I wanted to say that I am proudly showing off my V-neck I shoot raw that I've been waiting for a very long time, and it's great. I'm a V-neck fan. It's actually very soft and has a really nice fit. So that was kind of like just some free promo for the shirt, but I actually really like this one quite a bit.
I'm glad you like the V-neck.
Yes, thank you. So this week we have a photo set by a gentleman who goes by the name SSJ George. George Stavrinos, and he
Is he Greek?
I would think so. I think some of his shots are in Cyprus.
Oh, nice.
This particular shot, he says, was taken in Montreal. I'm just going to check the EXIF information really quick.
Yeah, let's see what he's shooting with so we can get a good...
So this was 1/1000th of a second, f11, 220 millimeters, ISO 200. And let me just try to see what kind of camera he is using here. I don't know why I can't find that.
It's all the way at the top. He's probably using a 70 to 300 or something.
It's an EOS. It's a Canon EOS 1000D Rebel XS, I believe.
Is that an... whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the lower end Canons.
Right. The neat thing about this shot is the way that that he framed it. The thing that really works for me is the shadow. You've got this stark black and white that's got a little bit of color information, which he chose to leave in color, which I think really works here.
I was going to comment on that. Yeah,
you were going to comment on that.
Well, this is your video. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, but please feel free to comment.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say it works that it's kept in color because you get all these subtle tones of the eyeballs and the arm, and if you went to black and white, it would kind of just melt away a little bit. So sometimes, even though some scenes may be conducive to black and white because they have a lot of black tones in there, it's better to leave it in color because there's more information.
Yeah, there's more gradations, and the fact that he's shooting ISO 200 at f11, you've got a lot of information in here. It's cool. It's a street shot, and again, the fact that you've got the profile of the artist kind of, in shadow on the wall here really makes this work for me.
Yep.
So moving on. Let's see. So this is... let's see. I'll just get some information. So this is a stairs with kind of an old shoe. What's he got to say about this one right there? An old-fashioned shoe found on the stairs of a courtyard in an abandoned building. So it's kind of like, one of those urban shots.
Seek and find.
What's that?
Seek and find.
Yeah, and the shoe definitely lends some context to kind of the desolation here. The shoe is in focus, with the first step, and the rest of the building is out of focus. And the way that the tones are kind of like all in that kind of like amber kind of hue, you really have to look at the bottom of the screen, or your eye is drawn to the bottom of the screen to kind of get some context here. It's kind of an interesting shot, and
You know what I was thinking about? My eyes wandered over to the left and not even looking at the screen and stuff. I was thinking about shoes.
You were just thinking about shoes.
I was thinking about Call Jack. I was thinking about, shoes, like, for me. Anyway, I like the shot. I think it's cool that you can just search around and find random things and then isolate the subject. And I think that's what's cool here is the isolation.
The fact that the shoe became the subject, but it lends context to the desolation here, is really interesting. This was shot with a Panasonic DMC GF1.
Oh wow!
It's it's 1/80th of a second, f1.7, 20 millimeters, 200 ISO.
Wow. Okay.
So
moving on.
Moving on. All right. So this is I'm just going to move you around over here on the screen. This
Man.
shot's kind of interesting. This was taken in Auschwitz, and another selective focus shot. You've got the intense stare of this photograph. That really draws your eye in again. This is another one of those images that, you get context with the hallway and all the frames and the lighting and the person kind of standing, the form over there, but your eye is just drawn into this. And I think that the toning really adds to the impact of this image. I mean, look, don't get us started talking about Auschwitz, but, this is a very, very strong image. And I think that, it does this subject matter justice in the way it was shot.
That's scary. I mean, you just look at that first photo and you just look at it and you go,
Yeah, just
this is a kid
who's scared to death.
getting his picture taken. I want, yeah, I just, if we're going to talk about photography here, maybe a secondary shot would be coming on straight and shoot 3 images on one, in a horizontal.
Sure.
Just so you get the eyes there. But I mean, this is just, I wanted to ask the question of what did they shoot the pictures with? Do you think they used Leicas? And I'm not being like joking. I'm curious what cameras the Nazis used for this stuff. Just, I don't know why it just popped into my head. I mean, it's just terrible.
Well, I mean, it's still photography. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, that would be something probably worth
Yeah,
researching.
I'm going to look into that. But I mean, just, you look at the eyes, and it's just, if you've ever gone to any Holocaust memorial things, it's just silent, and you walk through, and you can just feel it all around you, and it's
Yeah,
you have to feel it. If you have no feeling at these type of things, then you're probably dead.
Inside.
You have to just, I mean, you feel this stuff because it's all around you.
Yeah, and it's also the magnitude of it. I mean, this hallway, I mean, if there's probably just hundreds, maybe thousands
yeah.
of these images, so definitely hard to take. But just to get to the EXIF information, this was shot with a GF1 Panasonic again. Similar settings, 180th f1.7, 20 millimeters, 250 ISO. The thing that's nice about that GF1 is that it's kind of stealthy. It's portable, it's very sharp, and it's very versatile. I mean, look at the bokeh, the selective focus that you've got here with that camera. So nice work. Tough subject matter, of course.
Definitely.
Okay, moving on. This one is really kind of cool. Kind of a beach shot, I would guess. And I'm just going to move on here on monitor number 2 to get more info. In the land of stripped umbrellas. So I would imagine that this was taken, let's see, somewhere in Turkey or I don't know. It looks like it was taken in Cyprus. That's it. Okay. It was taken in Cyprus. So, you're in the Mediterranean there. It's cool. I like the repetitive silhouetted forms against the clouded sky.
Yeah.
Makes for very nice silvery tones. You get nice textures, nice repetition of shapes. I like it. What do you think?
Yeah, and I agree. It's cool that you have all the repetitive shapes going on, especially with the one big one right in the middle.
That really works.
I don't mind that it's right in the middle. Sometimes that works, and other times it doesn't. But here it works because you have all of the other ones in the background,
yep.
Especially with the silhouette. The person adds to the photo. I think if the person wasn't there, it wouldn't be as strong.
I completely agree. And this was GF1, 1/3200th of a second, f3.2, 20 millimeters, 100 ISO. Okay, so let's move on here. This struck me as one of my favorites from the set. This one I believe is untitled, but the thing that I love about this is the play on shadows, light, and lines. You've got verticals, you've got horizontals, you've got the repetition of the reflections on the inside of this walkway, and then you've got this kid running through it, which just, again, it's one of those just moments in time, but all of the lights and shadows and lines, really just, I don't know, I find this to be a very compelling image, very interesting. What would have probably sealed the deal is if the kid happened to be running through one of those shafts of light.
Yeah, I was going to say the same exact thing.
But, it's a fleeting moment. And, what are the chances that you're going to, I mean, I guess without like telling the kid, hey, do this again and let me, whatever. I think it's a really, really wonderful piece. And
Yeah, I think that either without the kid there, it could be stronger. And
right.
like you said, if the kid was in a light panel, if he was in the light running through, then it would have been stronger. And of course, if this was taken with a GF1 or something, it's probably not as capable as a DSLR to capture as many frames a second, right?
Possibly. I mean, this was taken with a Panasonic DMC FZ28,
Which is a pretty much a
compact
glorified
camera.
point and shoot.
All right, 1/200th f4.4, 86 millimeter, 100
Right.
ISO, taken in Berlin, Germany.
Cool stuff, though. It's definitely, it doesn't matter what it's shot with. There's still some amazing composition and images here.
Really, really well seen. I mean, the photographer saw this space and then, I guess maybe lucked out with timing here. All right. So speaking of timing, this shot. You know what works for me about this shot? I mean, generally, like, I don't know if I would be like over the moon with something like this, but the fact that he shot this at a low angle, so that the majority of the frame is taken up by the sky, so you don't really have context of anything else. You've just got these two humps of hay bales and this dude kind of frozen, over the two, straddling the two or jumping over the two. It kind of works for me for that reason. What do you think?
I don't think it works for me.
Yeah.
It just seems to be a little plain on this one compared to the other ones that we've seen. There's no context, which takes it away from me because I'm not seeing anything spectacular about it. It's not like, the guy's in a suit or something, or he's got a guitar over his back and he's leaping over the stuff. It's just a guy jumping from hay bale to hay bale.
Right. And again, the only thing that I was saying that I really enjoyed about it is that if this were taken from the vantage point of the hay bale and you saw the field or the parking lot or whatever, this was, I think it wouldn't be as interesting. But the fact that it's just some dude suspended in the air over these two humps of hay bales. Anyway, 1/4000th of a second, f2.8, 20 millimeters, 100 ISO with a GF1, GF Uno. This is another image here that struck me quite a bit, and this was taken in Cyprus again. And the thing I love is the treatment of light here. You've got this little shaft of light coming in through this window on this decrepit chair, and the fact that we see the sea very clearly through that window. Yet we still have context within the interior of the space. You can almost see you can actually see the paint in the walls kind of peeling apart here. Is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like that the chair is there. The light is hitting the chair this time, so you get some context into the room. But
Yeah.
like you just said, with the water going through you've got the broken glass and the windows, and it's just cool how there's some dirty glass and then some glass is missing, and you get a little bit of everything. So the photographer is definitely looking around and capturing different scenes and different stuff like that. He's seeing things very, very well.
Right. And this was also taken with the Panasonic FZ28, which I guess you said is a kind of a point and shoot.
I think it's a point and shoot.
I'm just going to just take a quick look over here on the old Flickr and see what comes up. Well, it's one of those point and shoots that has like kind of a bigger lens, 10 megapixel.
No, yeah.
Anyway, whatever the case may be. I mean, the point is that you don't need to have, a fancy DSLR to be able to see light and take a
No, I mean,
picture.
this is I used to sell these when I worked at one of the stores, and obviously older models.
Sure.
But they were capable. They just, there are limitations with the zooming. It's slower because you can't just sit there and turn the lens and things like that. But no, they're definitely fully capable of capturing great images.
Definitely.
And it comes down to the photographer again. So.
Yep, it's about seeing, and the thing about, George is that I feel like he really sees how light falls in different places and on different things, objects, and people, and that's what drew me to his set. And this is probably my second favorite image from the set because of the repetition of lines and shapes and lights and shadows, and the fact that he actually has the form, this person, coming down the stairs with the light kind of falling down his face in the front of his jacket. but he's not quite, he hasn't gotten to the final landing yet, so he's still within the frame of these stairs here. It works on a whole bunch of different levels. It's a little bit soft, maybe because it's a lower resolution image. And
Or maybe because it just can't handle the low light.
it can't handle it. You can't handle it. What movie was it? Anyway. This is another shot from, I believe, Montreal.
He's
Old
got
Montreal.
he's got a constant going on here where he's doing great with framing and composition. So that's like a major key.
That's one of the things too that attracts me to some photo sets over the others is the continuity with either subject matter or shooting style, and that definitely struck me about George's set here. Here we have a shot from Cyprus, and it's a cool image because you've got this dude on a bike just whizzing by what looks to be like a city street or a village street. The context being this kind of concrete building right here with a street sign, and
Yeah, but you want to know something?
what's that?
This looks like something where people do jump a lot of bikes because of the hay bales in front of the pole. So
Oh,
if you fall off
absolutely.
the bike, you hit the hay bale.
Well, you've got this bike.com banner over here, so this is definitely a photo op spot,
Sure.
But I like the framing on this a lot. I like the tonality of it, and I like the fact that he slowed the shutter speed yet kept his camera stable enough to be able to, get this image taken at the right time so that
Yep.
you've got plenty of context here. So that kind of works for me.
Nice.
And that was another GF1 shot. And our last image right here, I'm just going to pop over on the other frame. This is called Early Morning Workers. And
Can I say something?
please.
I mean, I like the fact that the silhouettes are difficult. Well, not difficult. They're easy to take.
Right.
But they're not easy to make interesting. And
Yes.
what I find to be interesting in this image are the fact that they're fishing poles. I don't think if the fishing poles weren't there, it's
Right.
a boring image. But the fact that they are there makes it and that there's some detail that you can see the pail that the people are sitting on and all of that makes the image better.
Yep, that and the fishing boat. You've got the gradient of color in the sky, which kind of breaks up the sky, and you've got the color kind of washing, across the water, and then you've got the context of the island or the land over there. The framing is really nice here. The light is really nice here, and the fact that there's these four fishermen, the two kind of poles, kind of like drawing you more toward the center of this frame, really works. So. I think this is a really solid set. I really like the way George, sees things. I like the way he sees light. I love his framing and composition, and I think it's really solid. I think it's nice work.
Yeah, same thing. It's just shot after shot here has thought going into it and vision. Like
Yep.
he's seeing the world the way that he wants to capture it, and he goes and he's able to do it. Even using it is a point and shoot camera. So
Well, this was actually shot with the EOS 1000D.
okay. Well, then he's translating everything very, very well from a point and shoot to a digital SLR.
Exactly. And this one was 1/250 of a second, f/5.6, 250 millimeters, 320 ISO.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's maybe not the general settings that you would choose, but
Sure.
it works.
But it works.
So, great set. Thanks, George, for submitting your set. Thank you, Jared, for your input. As always, it's great to hear your point of view.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank all the fans and the readers out there for submitting all of your photo sets. I've seen some amazing stuff. If you want to continue to submit, please send a photo set of your 10 best to adamlernerphoto@gmail.com. That's it for now, and we'll see you soon.